everyone. Welcome to the second day of the Future Food Convention. For those of you who've been with us since yesterday, thank you. And for those who are joining the convention now, let me quickly take you through the program and introduce our core team to you. The backbone of this project is Charlotte, who co-initiated holytisch and works as an action learning expert in the field of agroecology. My colleague Joella, who will also be moderating sessions today and tomorrow, works on agrosystem regeneration with a company called Seawater Solutions. And I'm Damini Raleigh, a Delhi-based food journalist, and I joined holytisch earlier this year. We all come from the same university, which is the Slow Food University of Gastronomic Sciences in Italy. For this year's Future Food Convention, we've pulled together some very special people from across the globe who are doing incredible work in the area of food sovereignty. They will, over the course of this convention, talk about ways to achieve that much desired goal through sustainable rural development, localized value chains, and put before you some very interesting business models. For this session, we have with us Jacobo from the Regeneration Academy in Spain. Sane, his colleague, was to join us for this session too, but due to a family emergency, she couldn't make it. Through the work that they do at the Academy, which we'll talk to Jacobo about in detail, they hope to create a better future by focusing on sustainable and regenerative education. Thank you for joining us today, Jacobo.
Hi, thank you.
So before we get into the questions, I just want to quickly remind everyone that we have a deep dive session on Zoom right after this chat, where you will get the chance to speak to Jacopo and exchange ideas with him. So please join us there after this session. Jacopo, could we start with talking about the academy? It's called La Junquera in southern Spain. It's a traditional farm that's slowly transitioning into a regenerative farming unit. And at the Academy, I believe you bring together stakeholders to facilitate knowledge and best practice exchange. And those are then applied to the farm to enhance the piece of land. Tell us about what prompted you to make the shift to regenerative agriculture and start the Academy.
So, let's start with La Junquera as a farm. So La Junquera is like 1,100 hectares. Organic, certificated in organic, and also we do here in the farm like a regenerative farming. Okay, so we have different techniques, etc. So well, it's located in south east Spain, in Murcia, in a very uncommon place. So we are, the farm is so pretty high, also with a very rush climate. So yeah, makes like the perfect environment for regenerative. So yeah, in the Academy. So, what do you want to start like, or I can tell you a little bit of a story of the Academy, or basically.
Academy.
Okay, so the Academy start in 2017 with the idea to like promote and train the new generations in regenerative, like I said, like agriculture, but also mindset. Okay, we start with one program that is the research program that basically we bring them students, university students. We bring the opportunity to make their research for their thesis. Basically, or master thesis. Or other type of research at the same time that they learn about regenerative farming, and they have also like the experience to live here in like a regenerative farm. Nowadays we have like several programs, so it's not only focused on university or higher education. So we have more activities related with, for example, we will talk later with rural youth communities here, or students. Also, we work with students around the world, we make events, like training sessions. Also, we work like with other organisms, like for example the European Union, a lot. Also, the last 2 years, and yeah. So basically, um, we are focused on trying to train, the new generations in the regenerative aspect, basically.
You also have a lot of courses that offer on site learning to students, like you said, and researchers, and you've also got entrepreneurs. Could you quickly take us through the programs that you have on offer
Yeah,
at the Academy at the moment?
yeah. So as I said, we start with a research program, like focus on university students. Um, we develop other courses focus on, for example, sustainability, sustain entrepreneurs in the area. Um, Also develop like another course focus on um, rural youth here in the territory. So we work with higher schools in the area and also vocational professional schools, focus on agroforestry. Um, and also the last course that we developed was more for people in general, not students, that are interested in introduce themselves in this world of regenerative farming or mindset. So it's like we work with a kind of more random people from around the world, etc. And yeah, it's basically 1 week where there's like a one intensive week that we train them and in all aspects, and also like with all the things that we are doing here in the farm.
How do you go about designing these courses? And because you get such varied people uh, from Europe, but I'm guessing also different parts of the world to come and train at the academy, um, what is what is it that you've noticed in terms of how regenerative agriculture and related practices are picking up with people? I'm sure you get more sort of you get more and more people who are interested now than they would have been, say, a decade ago. So, what
Yeah.
would you sort of classify that shift, and what do you make of it?
So yeah, basically, I think all these regenerative mindset or regenerative movement start here in the territory that we are in Spain. Um, Basically, through well, or one of the supporters of this movement was Commonland. So he support and also yeah, support like a big project in the area that goes well, or mm, the organization that is start making this and promoting the Common vision or regenerative vision of Common is Albelal, that wants to regenerate like 1 million hectares in 20 years. So 5 years ago, uh, no more, like 6 years ago, we start working with and also participate in this kind of movement. So basically, we reach to more audience around the world, and also through Common and also with other stakeholders that are interested in this kind of agriculture and the way of yeah, and also this kind of mindset. So um, in all this environment, the academy grows and also involved in the network of and also develop like a big network around the world. And yeah, year by year we are more, and also we notice that there are like a lot more people interested in this kind of agriculture. It was your question.
No, this was my question, which is that, I'm sure it's picking up with people, and how do you see that? But before we get into the programs that you have, if you were to sort of paint a picture of what the farm was before you started regenerative
Yeah.
agriculture, practicing regenerative agriculture, and what it is today, if you could sort of offer a contrast of the two.
Yeah. So basically, that was the most amazing thing. That the farm a few years ago was like a conventional farm, like a monoculture grain farm, and start the transition 10 years ago, uh, first becoming in an organic farm, and after that we start making this regenerative agriculture in the farm. So in that moment everything changed because for example, in the monoculture, when the farm was like a monoculture farm, and conventional farm, there's like in 1,100 hectares, there's like a one guy that only works, like a fixed worker, okay? And now we are 6 workers. Here in the farm or inside in the farm, there is like a kind, it was like abandoned village that now we are living here around the whole year, like 13 people with different projects related with or inside of the regenerative mindset. So in the moment that this regenerative mindset or the farm start making regenerative farming, everything changed. We have more people interested. There's more projects coming up inside of the farm. There's more students coming. I don't know, and also we rebuilt the town that we are living. So basically, it's not only the ground, it's not only the farm, it's more than this. It's basically, I don't know. We little by little also we are creating like a special environment where different kind of projects living and working together based on the farm, that I think is something incredible. And also because I think 6 years ago we decided like start making regenerative agriculture.
Tell me a little bit about the practices that you've incorporated on the farm. So whether that's building of scales or animal management or intercropping. So
as I said, like 9 years ago was only like a monoculture grain farm. Now we have also grains, almonds, pistachios, aromatics, some olive trees, bees, cows, sheep, like apple trees, and we have like a veggie garden. And I think, and also this year we plant like a vineyard. So basically, the diversification is super important. So that is one we can say like it's like a technique. Okay, so diversification. We have around 60 ponds and sediment traps. Because here is like a very dry climate, but also when rains like a lot in once, so we have like a problems of erosion. So the ponds, sediment traps, also we have lots of kilometers of swales, control lines. We practice key line also, composting. We have like a super interesting project with develop or making like a, what do you say, like warm compost, we can say, like humus. and yeah, so intercropping as well, ground covers in the fields, or in the animal fields and pistachio fields, and yeah, I think also we bet for using local varieties more adapted to this type of climate, because the farm is 99.9% like dryland, so we don't have irrigation. So basically, we use all these kind of techniques to optimize all the resources that we have here, and also adapt and plant a species more adapted for this type of climate, not other type of because we try years ago, and yeah, definitely we bet for the local varieties, and that we can say like is another technique. And for example, related with the pollinators, we are start doing a lot of things. For example, creating or planting hedge borders. We have a big also project with reforestation here in the farm. Uh, so yeah, this is a lot of things that we are doing. But yeah, so if you want or focus on one technique or this is
I it would be great to focus on one technique, but I also want to know for somebody who's, because I'm assuming, like, for you, because you're so closely related to the land, it's what you work on every day. When you saw sort of how the land started behaving once you started adopting regenerative practices, what has been like the most amazing discovery or learning for you individually?
Oof, I think the most amazing discovery with like a technique, or the impact of these techniques. No, uh, I think, in my opinion, so I think I will say the ponds. Okay, here maintain the water in the land, change everything. So and also is this the bonds that we have more than 60 bonds in the farm. Um, yeah, you can see the impact like in a very short term, so in 2 years, okay. But yeah, so that's why I think it's the most amazing or impact, because you create like and suddenly grows other type of vegetation, um, other animals coming, living. So, and also here is like a kind of it's like a miracle, because some ponds maintain the water or the whole year, others not. But the ponds that maintains the water the whole year is incredible. How many biodiversity you can find them in these ponds, the vegetation, and also the real impact. For example, this is like a very interesting, or um, we we have the some like the biggest pond in an area in the farm that there is no water in 3 kilometers around. So it was impossible to put hives, in the area. And with the ponds, we can put hives, and so has other type of impacts, that for me is like awesome. Uh, Other stuff, I think all the techniques that we apply, little by little, we are seeing the effects, okay, in the environment, in the ground, etc. But yeah, I think we have to have like a long-term vision, okay, and patience for for and also foresee the effects of these kind of impacts. For example, yeah, control line swales, you can see the impact like very immediately. When we have like heavy rains, you see how it works, and is wonderful. We have plots with like amazing erosion, and with the swells, we reduce the erosion until basically almost zero. So this is other stuff that is amazing.
Incredible. You know what? The other thing that I find very, very exciting about your initiative is the focus on rural development, and you have programs and projects designed to educate and inspire the rural youth of the area, and offer them ways in which they can get involved in climate mitigation. And you work with them on regenerative practices, of course, but also help them set up sustainable agribusinesses. I believe the project is called Viva El Campo, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. And so tell us a little more about it. And why...
No, sorry. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying, tell me more about it and why you think working with rural communities is important, and how it sort of ended up becoming a cornerstone of what you all do at the Academy.
Yeah, so definitely. In our strategy of education, we have inside of youth education is essential. Also include the local communities and start training, and also like give them like new concepts, also that for me is training in the future, because 100%, and also I said to the student, like 100%, you're gonna deal with the sustainability, with the climate change. It will be like a part of your life. So you have to know what happened, and also alternatives. For example, in the rural youth program, we start last year with high school and vocational professional. Give them also, like, last year was a little bit complicated, but we did, and also we keep doing this program. So basically give them like workshop and new subjects, related with climate change, also like the importance of the soil, problems with the soil, biodiversity, problems with the water, lots of topics around also the sustainability, climate change, and also that is the most important part. So I think with all these topics, we try to explain then why the agriculture is so important in the future, and also because it plays like a crucial role in all this transition, the agriculture, and also why the regenerative agriculture is like a way of making a real sustainability, like agriculture, and also is like a kind of barrier for the climate change. So try and connect these concepts to the regenerative agriculture, because these kids probably will work in rural areas, in farms, in greenhouses. Here in Murcia is plenty of like intensive agriculture. So yeah, this a long-term project is super interesting, and little by little we are develop more activities for this kind of students. Also in the vocational professional, that is kids, students that they will work in the countryside 100%. We try to give them like new tools for and also like a new vision, of the countryside. So try to train them like in a holistic view, of the countryside, the environment, landscape, restoration as well. So yeah, that part is essential. And also, if we create like bridges, with our activity and the rural communities. I think I'm for sure in the future we will have like better connections, and also I think, and I hope like we will have like a important impact in the territory. Yeah, for sure. So, for example, and so yeah.
No, go on.
No, with the entrepreneurs, because you asked me about also like the entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
So we work and we have this course focus on sustainability like entrepreneurs in the here in the territory, and also some participants from Spain. And yeah, it's basically the same. It's like trying to give them new tools, new vision, for your business, for the impact of your business here in the area. And yeah, so I think these two groups are super important for, and also is something that the regenerative mindset have to have, and work with.
You talk about the regenerative mindset, which is really interesting, because what it is essentially are ideas that you need to grasp to be able to put them in practice. And that's a large part of what you do at the academy, the sort of sensitization of people to the environment that they inhabit, the food that they grow and plate. Tell us a little bit about like the sort of exchanges that you have with people who come into the academy to learn from all of you.
Yeah, so the change that we have here, and also in the academy, for example, the students that participate in the research program, that they come from the whole around the Europe. So I don't know. It's like super nice. Introduce them in this kind of mindset of a regenerative mindset, that because it's not only like farming, it's only like food, it's only like social aspect, economic aspect, business. So yeah, so it has like a lot of connections, So also, for example, in this program, the students make their research, for example, in the possibilities that the farm has for making like a research. So, for example, I have like a project for I don't know, measure the salinity in the ponds, and I think all the effort that these students doing during the program, okay, and also like this scientific or this research have like a real impact in the farm, because the students can implement this idea, okay, in the farm, like the real in a real way, okay. And yeah, all this knowledge, all these new fields that they open with their research, all the project that they implement in the farm, obviously they have like an impact. And also for the farm is also like a way of start like constantly changing and discovering, so in all this aspect, the students give to the farm like a lot of information, a lot of data. I don't know. I think is super cool. In the other way around, this exchange, for example, yeah, we give them, one. I think is the most important thing: practical work. So, so many students arrive to the farm, and they study for 4 years. I don't know, like forest management. I don't know specifically the name of the career, but for example, and here is the first time that they plant one tree. So let's go to the practical stuff, down the knowledge of the theoretical knowledge to the practical one, live like in a farm, have this experience for like a farm life, I think is super important. And also inside of this regenerative mindset. Obviously, inside of the program, we train them, and we talk about all these aspects. So I think this is the exchange of knowledge that we have with the students, definitely.
And you're right, there's nothing that's going to teach you how to work the land other than the land itself. What I find also very interesting about the work that you do is a project called the Aromatics Lab, where you provide farmers with sort of new perspectives and knowledge for cultivation of aromatic crops on their farms. And this then becomes a sort of an alternative to sustainable and regenerative agribusiness. Um, could you tell us a little bit more about that? I believe you also work with them to create sort of new high quality products from these aromats that they grow. So could you talk to us a little bit about that and the importance of aromatics in the territory?
Yeah, so we started this program also last year, with the aim of like give another also like a point of view of the aromatics world, and also why the aromatics is like essential, in this type of climate, and also the potential or the potential of the aromatics in southeast Spain. We have here, like aromatics that only grows here in this part of Spain and in the world. So we have in the farm, well, this year we plant now, and also we extend next year until 30 hectares of aromatics. And also the aromatics that we have here is like autochthon like varieties of aromatics, like thyme, like white thyme, red thyme, rosemary, the officinal is rosemary. We have like sage, Hispanic sage, oregano, but not the oregano for eat, oregano for essential oil. We have like a Spanish lavender. So also we choose these varieties because works like perfect in dry lands. They don't need like so much water, resist these kind of temperatures that is crazy. So for example, in April you can have 20 degrees during the day and -4 during the night. So this is like a big gap of temperature. So it's essential also like for this landscape and this territory, because works super well in dry lands, works and this plant don't need like a lot of good soils, we can say it, like also retain a lot the erosion here. Also is super important, this part helps to the pollinators, and also this is like a hot point that the pollinators here in this area, we are pretty high with like this rush climate, and we have like a very short bloom season. Okay, so the bees they have like a short period for reach all the food around, and only we can say we have 2 only bloom season. With aromatics, we extend a little bit more the period, for the pollinators, and we give them like more food, and we make longer this kind of bloom season. So has like a real impact in the pollinators. Also, in the perspective of the business, is like another option. It's like an alternative for like a super interesting world about, for example, in our case, we are start doing organic essential oil for all this type of aromatics. So, but the essential oil also this I think is like a very interesting product, but you can also have another type of products. For example, infusions. You can start like a business with infusions, and also we are working with no aromatics. We can say like it's like a medicinal plant. So you have a lot of ways to use the plant, and also helps to the ground. And for us, it's super interesting to start working with farmers and also like research centers that helps us in this program and give them like alternative for see new ways and also new type of crops that they can implement in their lands with the most important thing, added value. So with a high added value.
Yeah. You talk about sort of getting researchers on board and students on board. I also believe there are over 30 experiments that are currently underway at the academy, that are related to soil management, crop management, water management. Tell us a little bit more about those experiments, and how you shape them. How do you choose what how do you choose the experiments?
So basically, with the students, well, we have like a process, okay, for it's like a process that the student start with like an idea, okay, that okay, I really want to make or work in this field, okay. Obviously, we work with the student at the beginning, before the student arrives to the farm, to see the possibilities that the farm has, and also, for example, other theses that other students did, in a specific topic that this student can following or extend the other thesis, continue with the thesis. So, but basically, we try to find something feasible, good for the farm, good for the student, and also this is the best scenario that the student can implement in the farm. Okay, so inside of these barriers, we choose like a topic, and that's it. During the program, we follow the students. We connect with other farms also, to try to develop better like the research. So yeah, mm, we choose. Yeah, we choose a little bit, but this is something that year per year with the students is for me is super nice that the new students, or we have more students not focus on farming in the farm, like we have like more students focus on yeah, basically like social aspect, food, tourism. So other kind of aspect that we don't think about a lot, and also like sometimes the students are like, okay, but this topic I think is very interesting for you guys and to know. And I said like is super welcome. So the students open new fields, and also that we don't know. But yeah, sometimes we choose the experiments or with the student, and other the student open yeah, this kind of fields, and also all the theses related with this kind of things are super interesting.
Great. Sounds great. One of the main criticisms of regenerative agriculture is that it can't be scaled up to feed the world's growing population. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, so I think yeah, we have to change definitely the model that we are feeding people. And also feeding is related with so many aspects in the life that we have here is the most important thing. So definitely, I think using the regenerative agriculture as a tool, okay, for feed the people and also restore the land and have a better condition of life here in the earth. So I think is super important for keep going and is and I believe is gonna be like one or you know. Or I hope that will be like the way to feed the world in the future, you know. So because it's not only like producing food, it's the mindset behind that. I think that is the most important thing. Okay, if we produce food and also we have this mindset, I think that is the key for the next generation. I mean.
Yeah, you're right. So much of it has to do with the way we think about food and how we think it should be produced. And that's what needs revamping. This has been a great session. I'm now going to invite everyone into a Zoom chat with us. The link is in the chat and in the comment section on the YouTube live stream. Thanks very much, Jacobo. See you on Zoom.
Okay.